Everyone, this is the Next Take podcast, episode 79 with Mikel, and
And Tanyka.
where we have conversations on different topics. Sorry about that, guys. A little fumble there. Today is a lot of snow today. So,
Well, yes,
yeah,
as we're recording this, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. If you guys don't know, we live in Canada. There's a lot of snow here, and it's about almost like 50 centimeters, I believe, Tanika. That's what you
And
said?
by the end of today, yes,
Yeah. Yeah,
because we've
crazy.
been getting dumped on since yesterday.
Hmm.
And so yeah, by the end of
Hmm.
today, like today's supposed to be the worst.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's crazy out there.
Mm-hmm.
But
Which is why I'm not going
for
out
sure,
there.
yeah. Well, I am. So I'm seeing Captain America movie,
Mm,
and it's gonna be rough out there to walk through. So
yeah, that's good luck to you because they know they're
yeah,
not clearing. They don't clear until this is over, especially like
yeah. I know.
sidewalks and stuff like that.
I
Like they're not
know.
clearing
Yeah,
that.
they're not. It's not cleared. Yeah. So it's kind of sucks, but well, I'll find a way. I'll find a way through the snow. So it is
Just
what it is.
like I told him off mic, always check the weather report, especially in January and February, before making any plans. Because, yes, because we live in Canada. And these are always the worst months. February, especially, is the worst
Hmm.
month
Hmm.
for snow.
Yeah.
But that's not your fault, really.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. Well, that's not gonna stop us of doing our episode today. So
oh no, because we're recording separately.
exactly.
So it's easy,
Yeah. Easiest one, two, three. So what's
pretty
is
much.
our topics today?
So today we are going to be talking about potential criminal charges against Boeing, so the
Hmm.
airline, not the airline, but the maker of the airplanes, CRA to recover COVID overpayments, which we've talked about before,
Hmm.
and Parkinson linked to gut bacteria, like Parkinson's disease, could be linked to a gut bacteria.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get to it.
Okay, so U.S. prosecutors have recommended that the Justice Department file federal criminal charges against Boeing for violating the terms of a 2021 settlement related to two fatal crashes. Reuters reported, citing two sources familiar with the matter. In May, officials found that Boeing had violated the terms of a 2021 settlement related to two fatal crashes in 2018 and 2019. That's real close together. Wow. Um, and I will say, before I finish this, Boeing's construction of their planes, especially I think one particular one, but I can't remember the name of, but it's the one they use for most flights, is flawed. And if you want to be scared, you can watch the Boeing documentary that's on Netflix. That's all I'll say. The $2.5 billion settlement deferred prosecution against the company, shielding Boeing from allegations it had defrauded the Federal Aviation Administration as long as it adhered to strict compliance regulations. After officials determined Boeing had violated the terms of the agreement, which Boeing denies per Reuters, prosecution was back on the table. Reuters reported that the DOJ has until July 7th, which was had already passed, to decide whether to charge Boeing, which I mean, I personally would. I hope they did. Maybe I can find an update. And officials are not guaranteed to move forward with charges despite the recommendation from prosecutors. The outlet also reported that the DOJ could extend the terms of the existing settlement or propose new stricter terms. Business Insider previously reported that the families of the 346 victims of the two 737 crash, so that's actually That is the type that I was thinking about, 737 MAX crashes in 2018 and 2019 are
Mm.
calling for the plane maker to pay a fine of nearly $25 billion.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. Representatives for Boeing and the DOJ did not immediately respond to requests for comment from Business Insider, who is the one that did this article.
Mm.
So, which they're not going to, but especially if they're still, if at that time they were still figuring out if they were going to press charges, DOJ is not going to talk to anybody, and Boeing is not going to talk to anybody. So, but yeah, that's that.
Cool.
Now let's talk about those overpayments, which we have talked about in previous episodes.
Yeah.
So the Canada Revenue Agency is ramping up efforts to recover overpayments of pandemic-related benefits to individuals as more than $9 million remains owed. So a lot.
Yeah.
The agency said that starting in July, so this has already started,
Mm-hmm.
it will begin using legal warnings and means to recover overpayments. Actions that could include taking payments out of wages or bank
Okay.
accounts. Hmm, hold on. Hmm,
Really? Oh, wow.
yeah. So again, this has already been happening probably.
I thought they would forgive. I guess they'll
Not when
forgive.
it's $9 billion.
Yeah. Jeez.
That's a lot of money to forgive. It's a lot. Um, the agency said it will only be taking legal action against those who have not responded or cooperated and who have been determined to have the financial capacity to pay.
Mm.
Saying, quote, our primary goal is to encourage individuals to contact us so we can work together to find the best way to resolve their debt, ensuring a fair and manageable process for everyone, spokesperson Sylvie Branch said in an email. The agency said it remains committed to supporting Canadians who are not able to repay their debt and encouraged those individuals to contact them to figure out a plan. The rollout of pandemic relief payments saw more than $200 billion doled out to individuals and businesses on a pay now, ask questions later basis, which I think definitely shot the CRA in the foot, honestly, because I think there are a lot of people, individuals especially, who did get the COVID relief benefit, who didn't actually um
Five?
not even applied. That's not applied. That's not the word I'm looking for. It's qualified for it.
Mm.
Whether they lost the job before COVID, but they somehow tampered to make it look like it was because of COVID.
Mm.
Um, so like, yeah, that's the issue I think
Mm.
I have with people who got that benefit.
I did. I did too. I got that benefit. Paid it off within I think the end of the year that year. But they announced that, they needed uh you needed to pay it back, and I paid it back.
Yeah, yeah. Well, again, if you like, I don't know what you were doing at that point, but like, if you are working in a non-essential place and you know you lose your job because of it, or you can't work because of it because you're not essential, then yeah, that makes sense that you qualify for that. But I mean, like, there were people who were like I'm thinking of one situation right now. It's work related, so I'll obviously not put too much into it. But there was a person who lost their job because, or lost their job. They stopped working. They didn't actually lose their job. They quit or took time off or whatever it was. And it was so close to the pandemic that she made it look like it was um because of COVID.
Mm.
And that's how she got the benefit. But she didn't actually qualify for the benefit because it had nothing to do with COVID, why she wasn't working. It just happened around the same time. Saw that a lot in the cases that were close to the pandemic, and those people who couldn't work because of a car accident or whatever it was. Saw a lot of that.
Mm.
But anyways, the CRA said it's still trying to get about $9.53 billion paid back from individuals who were ineligible, like as I said, including $5.41 billion from the Canada Emergency Response Benefit, $2.67 billion from the Canada Recovery Benefit, and $1.25 billion from the Canada Recovery Caregiving Benefit. So the agency began efforts in May 2022 to recover payments deemed ineligible by sending out letters encouraging voluntary payments. Last year, it sent out collection letters and made, or I guess 2023, it sent out collection letters and made efforts to reach people by phone. It also started using a process it calls offsetting, which means that it automatically uses money from tax refunds and some benefits to settle a person's debt with the government. Those who are told they owe can ask for two reviews of the conclusion, where they're given the opportunity to try and prove they qualified, said Dale Barrett, founder and managing lawyer of Barrett Law Tax. But he said, given the information the CRA has, there is usually not much room for debate on whether someone qualified for the benefits, which, yeah, once CRA says you owe, there's not a lot you can do. Like, they've done their research kind of situation. Um, so he said, quote, most of the issues are pretty clear cut. Those who still want to challenge the decision after two reviews can take their case to federal court, but it generally requires a lawyer and is an expensive prospect for the amount of benefits involved. They still have the opportunity to go to court, which unfortunately is one of those things that's very expensive to do because we're not talking Superior Court. We're talking federal court, which means Supreme Court of Canada, which is in Ottawa. So, like, if you're not in Ottawa or near Ottawa, um, that alone is the travel is expensive if you need to actually be appearing in court. Um, there have been more than 1,000 people who have challenged the findings in federal court, and some people have been successful against the odds in securing another review after self-representation. Good. Those included an Ontario hospitality worker who demonstrated his joblessness was related to the pandemic by showing he went through 3 interviews for an airport position just before COVID-19's onset. A Quebec retiree, meanwhile, convinced the judge he had been doing odd jobs as a landscaper to make extra cash after the level of his pre-pandemic income was challenged by the CRA. But far more have been forced to pay back the funds owed. Quote, just in the majority of the cases, the CRA knows. They know whether you've qualified or not. They've got your tax return. He said that while as a tax lawyer, he's always happy to prove the agency incorrect, he thinks they've done a reasonable job navigating the return of benefits, saying, quote, it's always lousy getting a collection call from CRA, but at the end of the day, it's also lousy having taxpayer dollars go to places where they shouldn't be going. There is the small consolation for those who owe. There are no penalties or interest. Interesting. On the emergency benefits overpayment debts. So at least there's that. So yeah. But I think also because there is no interest accumulating on it, people don't probably have the drive to pay it back.
Right.
Because like I know like if
Right.
I've had to owe or my mom's had to owe for other situations, you're determined to get it done and over with because interest is accumulating on the principal. So you don't want that.
So no interest. I thought there was interest onto the public review.
No, it says no interest.
Interesting. Because like when it comes to income tax here, and if you owe the government, there's interest on that, right? So
There's interest on that,
yeah,
but not on this.
yeah, mm, interesting.
Okay, so final topic. Researchers have suspected for some time that the link between our gut and brain plays a role in the development of Parkinson's disease. A new study just identified gut microbes likely to be involved and linked them with decreased riboflavin. Oh, vitamin B2. Okay, that's so much easier. And biotin, which is vitamin B7, pointing the way to an unexpectedly simple treatment that may help B vitamins. Interesting. That's as simple as that. Just take some B vitamins. Okay. Supplementation of B2 and or B7 is likely to be beneficial in a subset of Parkinson's disease patients in which gut dysbiosis plays pivotal roles. And this is said by Nagoya University medical researcher Hiroshi Nishiwaki and colleagues write in their published paper. The neurodegenerative disease impacts almost 10 million people globally who at best can hope for therapies that slow and alleviate symptoms. Symptoms typically begin with constipation and sleep problems. Oh, up to 20 years before progressing into dementia and the debilitating loss of muscle control. Which, again, if I don't know anyone personally who has Parkinson's, but who I'm thinking of, I'm pretty sure, um, oh, oh my God, what's his name? Why isn't it coming to me right now? I'm an idiot. The guy that's in Back to the Future. Um,
Michael.
uh, how do I not like I love him and I don't know why, but his name's not even coming to me right now. Oh no, that's gonna bug me. I'm gonna have to search it.
Michael J. Fox.
Thank you, Michael J. Fox. He has Parkinson's, and he developed it very young. Um, so previous research found people with Parkinson's disease also experience changes in their microbiome long before other signs appear. Analyzing fecal samples from 94 patients with Parkinson's disease and 73 relatively healthy controls in Japan, Nishiwaki and team compared the results with data from China, Taiwan, Germany, and the US. While different groups of bacteria were involved in the different countries examined, they all influence pathways that synthesize B vitamins in the body. The researchers found that the changes in gut bacteria communities were associated with a decrease in B2 and B7 in people with Parkinson's disease. Nishiwaki and colleagues then showed the lack of B vitamins was linked to a decrease in short chain fatty acids and polyamines, molecules that help create a healthy mucus layer in the intestines. Deficiencies in polyamines and the CFAs, which is the short chain fatty acids, could lead to thinning of the intestinal mucus layer, increasing intestinal permeability, both of which have been observed in Parkinson's disease, Nishiwaki explains. They suspect the weakened protective layer exposes the intestinal nervous system to more of the toxins we now encounter more regularly. So those would include cleaning chemicals, pesticides, and herbicides. Such toxins lead to the overproduction of syncytine fibrils, which is molecules known to amass in dopamine-producing cells in the Samtia nigra part of our brain and increased nervous system inflammation, eventually leading to the more debilitating motor and dementia symptoms of Parkinson's. A 2003 study found high doses of B2 can assist in recovering some motor functions in patients who also eliminated red meat from their diets. So it's possible the high doses of vitamin B may prevent some of the damage Nishiwaki and team propose. This also suggests ensuring patients have healthy gut microbiomes may also prove protective, as would reduce the toxic pollutants in our environment. Of course, with such a complicated chain of events involved in Parkinson's, not all patients likely experience the same causes. So each individual would need to be assessed, saying, quote, we could perform gut microbiota
Mhm.
analysis on patients or conduct fecal metabolite analysis. Using these findings, we could identify individuals with deficiencies, or particular deficiencies, and administer oral B2 and B7 supplements to those with decreased levels, potentially creating an effective treatment. So that's that's the end of that. So I mean, it's just as simple as increasing B vitamins or B2 and B7, which you can easily get.
And
I
you're
mean, you could get through your doctors as well, but
yeah,
you can also get that in a
Dr. Jugmart.
like
Uh,
oral shops like where I mean, I don't shop at Shoppers Drug Mart for stuff like that. Jameson, I'm sorry, it's fake. But you go to like a Healthy Planet and you
yeah,
can get better lines of stuff that and you can also consult people there too, and they'll always
yeah.
direct you to the right thing as well. Hmm.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So this ends episode 79 of the Next Tape Podcast. The Next Tape Podcast is available now on all podcast platforms. We also have a website called Tanyka.
Next take podcast dot podpage.io, link in the show notes.
And where else are we at so far?
Facebook and Instagram at Next Take Podcast, and Twitter and TikTok at Next Take Pod.
And you can contact us on email at mikeltanika@gmail.com. That is mikeltanika@gmail.com. So, three topics on this episode. Go
We
ahead.
talked about CRA overpayments. We talked about the Parkinson's. And what was that? That first topic. I always forget the first topic. Um, I can't remember. I guess I'm gonna have to pull that up. And oh yeah, so but the potential criminal charges against Boeing.
Okay. All right. So, anything else you want to say, Tanika, before we just go?
Okay. Yeah. So we're now officially in Women's History Month. So we're
Mhm,
going to
mhm.
be starting that officially on Thursday. So
Yeah.
look forward to that.
Okay. All right. So, I'm Mikel, and
I'm Tanika.
we're out until
Thursday.
Thursday. See you later, guys. Peace.
Bye.